Dario, I love the fact of what you're doing with 37 Consult. Such incredible success stories. I'm so happy that I can get some time with you to actually dive deep into your success, your journey to where you are right now, your case studies, and what better way to get to know how we can work with you than to hear from you how you've created success for so many brands.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go. Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, but these are more curious questions that I want to get to know. And we're going to just see where it flows. Cool?
Yep.
Let's start with, in terms of what agencies are doing, yeah? I want to know a little bit more of what does 37 Consult bring to the table compared to what the other regular agencies are doing right now?
Yeah. I think one of the main objectives of this podcast is give people an insight. And I think this is very good to start with because many people work with a lot of agencies and they usually change agency at least 3, 4, 5 times before they end up with us. Because what we don't do is send you PowerPoint presentations of, I don't know, what do you call them, offers and quotations and what do you call this long slide PowerPoint presentations like these?
Like endless proposals and decks, yeah.
And engagement rankings. What you get with us is real marketing, real advertising. We look, what problem are you solving? What are the deeper purchasing reasons why people buy your product? What are deeper inner thoughts people have that buy your product? We take these, we put them in kind of modern content formats, UGC, founder video, maybe a podcast, doesn't really matter what it is. We make a form, a landing page, then collecting these information and give you a hands-on guide of how to sell on WhatsApp, how to sell more on your channels. It's remarketing, it's re-advertising. It's not just making funny pictures, making funny statics. It's we're gonna go deep in your brand. And basically just whatever you do yourself anyways, get this out.
Nice. Okay. So I'm not going to beat about the bush. What I want to know is I've got a business. I want to get my brand out there.
Yeah.
How much do I have to allocate for my budget to be able to work with you? And what will you deliver for that?
Yeah. Let's go straight to the point.
Oh, yeah. I want to know. How much money do I have to pay you?
All the people watching here probably see me on ads before. They see all my videos flexing my client result. And all of them usually ask, how much is the fish, right? So to make it clear, we have, I'm not sure now, it's end of February 2025. So I'm not no longer just gonna podcast, gonna be online. But as of now, the setup fee to make content, to make a landing page, to set up everything correctly, to make tracking, to set up email marketing, to all the things that we need to do to get you clients next week is starting from 15 to 25,000 dirhams. This includes the setup and the first month. And then on a monthly retainer, starting from 7 to 12,000 dirhams. This is the range we're in right now, if you in our usual pattern. There is ups and downs, of course, if you want more, if you are outside the UAE, if you have different languages, if you require stuff that's not usual, it's going to go up and down. But for most companies that are listening right now, this is going to be the range.
Okay. And then for that, do you have like a minimum contract that we have to sign up to?
3 months.
3 months minimum contract. Okay.
Because we believe I think every client that's on retainer with us right now, they sign a 3 months contract. And then afterwards, it's usually month by month. Because I believe I am in a retaining client business. I am not to be honest, if you pay me 20,000 dirhams for once, at the moment with the employees that we have and the cost that we have, it's not going to change my life. What changes a life is a customer that stays on for a year, paying 10,000 a month every month. That's changing how we cover our costs, what can we invest in the future. One-time payment, to be honest, I'm not into it. The goal is we need to get on board to try it. You need to see it's working. You need to get a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10x ROAS on what you spend. Most likely, you will stay with us forever. The longest client that's been with us is, can I say this here? I'm not sure. I just say it. It's Real Pilates, Reza. Casey watching. He's with us for 4.5 years.
Okay. And then what I want to know is once we start with you, how soon do we start seeing results? Like how soon can I expect to get my, DMs being on fire, getting those sales coming in, getting that lead gen working? How quickly can I get a return? See, I told you I'm going to ask you questions that are going to be uncomfortable, but I want to know.
But I'm going to say it because I'm not going to say that. It depends on the case. On average, we will get the first customers in the first 3 days.
First 3 days?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, 3 days.
It takes, sorry to interrupt, like it takes longer to optimize the whole thing, but usually agencies tell you it takes 3 months to optimize, then we see this when we SEO
Do
and
A/B
this and blah, blah,
testing,
blah,
we do
blah, blah,
this,
blah.
yeah.
To be honest, if my message is right, I'm saying the right things, I'm targeting the right people, why wouldn't they sign up the next day? Nobody
Right.
needs to hear a message 400,000 times. To be honest, there's one thing that we realized is the better leads, good leads will sign up once they see something for quite some time because they need more time to convincing. Very impulsive people that most likely might not convert as well very fast. They sign up very fast. Like they see something new, they sign up, they pay. That's usually not the case. Very impulsive people sign up very fast. The good quality clients will need 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to sign up and buy then. But you see qualified inquiries after a few days, yeah.
Okay, and what, for example, when you're running an ad, yeah, what makes an ad really like high converting? Like what are the secrets that you apply to make that ad return, like give you that high ROI?
The secret of any ad is that if the ad is mirroring your inner monologue with this topic.
Explain to me what that means, because monologue with this topic, what does this mean?
Sounds complicated, but for example, let's talk about. Give me an example.
Skincare. I want to know about skincare range.
Skincare. Let's take the example microblading, because we did this recently.
Treatment. All right.
Microblading treatment, right? What I can't do is show nice. What the usual marketer working in an agency or I don't know works somewhere would say, okay, to sell microblading, it's like, by the way, it's like this. It's almost like it's tattoo, right?
It's tattooing.
It's tattooing in the eyebrows.
Eyebrow hair.
So girls, I think save time in the mirror in the morning because everything looks perfect. You don't need to do it all the time. The normal marketer would probably go in and say, we need to show the perfect eyebrow and say, do you want this? Yes or no? Where I'm saying, yes, 10 years ago, that would have worked because you'll probably be the only 1 or 2 people who are doing this. And if I see this online, I'm like, okay, I like this. Or I like this perfect eyebrow. Nowadays, in 2025, people became smarter. We are exposed to 20,000 ads per day on my phone, outside, in the car, in the radio, I don't know where. And people became smarter. They know that they want to trick you into something. They know what they see there is not the truth. You know?
Because it's saturated now.
It's
so
saturated.
You see it everywhere.
So how to stand out in a saturated market is giving the inner monologue that they have with this and tell them. For example, if I do a microblading ad, I would be saying, this is the perfect eyebrow. I'm sure you've seen this a lot, but there's much more behind it. And for sure, we know what you don't want. You don't want, and then you have to go deep in the topic. And I did go deep in this topic because otherwise you can't go and make nice ads. Like if we take on microblading customer, I'm 2 days, I'm a microblading expert. I know what girls are thinking. For example, number one thing, how microblading can go wrong is it turns blue or greenish after 2 or 3 months because they use very cheap color pigments that will turn the eyebrows into green or blue eyebrows.
Okay.
Because the black in the pigments will change. Girls know this because if you do microblading, out of a sudden your whole algorithm on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok is changing towards microblading. And now you hear horror stories of girls doing microblading and then seeing, I did my microblading and now it turned everything is blue, blah. So you have all these people get scared. So if you now show you an eyebrow and say, this is what you get, she'll be like, okay, but what is if it turns blue or green, like I see on TikTok, blah, blah. So a good ad knows these things. A good marketer knows the audience. The audience doesn't mean, we know it's girls between 25 and 30 and they like that. No. We need to find out what are they scared of. And if we talk about eyebrows now, we need to find out what are the worst things that can happen. Why are we preventing them? And this is what we do, right? So a perfect ad in this case was a long explanation, but it's very detailed, to be honest. We need to find out what are people scared of, what are the real purchase reasons, and what would they not buy something. Just by showing a perfect eyebrow, it's not enough anymore. Because we are bombarded with content on every platform once we know a topic.
So what you're saying is you go deep into the topic that you're going to be covering, you become an expert on that topic, and you're not afraid to show what can go wrong so that you're able to then hit the pain points of what that consumer is potentially watching and give them the message of microblading with us, you're going to get XYZ, you're not going to get ABC.
Correct. But to do this, you need to go. And the thing is, it's not only us doing this. Like sometimes the owners know that, right? So it's me finding this out. Sometimes the owner knows this already. Sometimes we have to find it out first. For example, we had the mattress example where the owners just said, no, people just buy mattresses because they need new mattresses. I'm like, can't be the reason. And we found out people buy new mattresses because in Dubai, most mattresses are bought in like IKEA and home care. But these mattresses sag very quickly. You have this hole in the middle of the mattress. Everyone knows this. But nobody really talks about this little hole. When we made ads about mattress, we talk about this hole because everyone knows this little hole where you fall in at night, you roll in back that hole. That's what you want. And this is why people buy new mattress. People don't buy new mattress because I don't know, why I don't know, we need to go find out what do people actually think about a topic. That's the real secret.
What you're saying is you hit on the point that the viewer will be thinking in their head,
but won't say it.
You go into it. That's
yes. I'm trying to find the little thought in your head why you want to buy something.
Nice.
And there's things for every topic. For example, we have a very successful client called Wahid, Mr. Tasjil. Everyone knows him, and in Dubai at least. And it was the same. People buy domains because they want to own a domain. I was like, no, bro. Like they buy a domain because, if I'm a business owner in Dubai and I'm thinking about .com or .ie. The real reason I buy a domain is because maybe things I don't even know yet. And we need to tell them. So, Wahid, what are the advantages of a domain? And this and that and A, B, and C and C. And it's like, okay, so we need to say this. Why? Like, because then we make people buy stuff. Okay, let's try it. Tried it. It works, So we need to find out why people buy stuff. It's not like people don't buy stuff because of random events. They buy stuff because they have a very specific mindset about certain topics. And we need to find these mindsets about that topic and tell them it's not like that or it is like that. And that's why you need to buy it. And if you do this in a nice way, people start buying.
That's a very clear sales strategy. So what you're basically doing is exactly what marketeers should be doing, but they've become very lazy in doing this. Yeah. What they're focusing on is more about how can we make the brand look good? You're doing, let's let people know everything about the brand to make them understand why this is important for them. So like you said, in terms of microblading, you gave them the horror story for them to know that that's
not happening.
Not what you're doing.
And we know the horror stories as well. Yeah.
So you're not trying to avoid it. You're not trying to say, the elephant in the room
is this.
So we know it, but that's not what you're going to get is this.
The best example of this is actually healthcare. We have a customer called Osteopathic Health Center in Dubai, and they advise people who are going for back pain surgery to not go for surgery.
Okay, yeah.
So
counterintuitive strategy. I like this, yes.
And because they're treating it in a more osteopathic, holistic way. So what they're saying is, look, industry A wants to convince you of something because they want your money. We have a solution where you don't have to fall for this. Let's come to us first and fix it on the other way. And this is one of the main strategies. Like we tell you the behind the scenes of an industry, and we're actually telling you the truth. And I don't take clients that want to scam people, that have a shitty product, and don't do this. Like if you have a shitty product and want to come to us, I'm most likely really going to decline you. We look for real people, real solutions, real businesses who solve a real problem. If you have this, you can come to us. We have clients, I declined so many clients who have a fake PR agency who's scamming people out of $10,000 for an article. I said, no, actually, I don't feel like working with you. Because I don't need to. So I choose clients where I can apply this. And if you're a real business right now, and you solve a real problem, we can help you. But we decline people a lot in Dubai because Dubai is full of people who try to get your money without, doing anything for it. And I'm against this. Like we can make real marketing for real companies.
This is what I love about your concept in terms of how you approach brands and potential clients, because I think when you're in a position where you can choose to hire or fire your client, you're in a very privileged situation. And that's when you start applying your value system in terms of who you work with. And that then has a very strong ROI in terms of your reputation. Because when you start working with certain brands that sometimes they might be surprise success stories, and most likely with your philosophy and your approach, you have a very clear strategy in terms of how you take every brand to make it a success.
Correct.
But I want to talk about the brands or the success stories which were totally, unplanned, and it just soared into 10x and you had no idea how it happened, but you did same application of the strategy. One, what I really want to get into is the famous fixed chocolate. So tell me what you did with that and how did it get to where it is now? What was your involvement in this?
Okay, so our involvement in the fixed chocolate brand was we took the brand from a very small starting position, and they didn't have much budget. They had I think they paid us very minimum retainer because the friend of the owner was a friend of mine. So I said, hey, can you take these guys, take care of them? It's like, okay, let's try it. But what we did with them is we looked for very obvious ways to get a lot of exposure in a very short time for a very cheap amount of money. And it was a lucky shot, right? So they have to be honest, the TikTok algorithm helped us here a lot. But basically what we found is we found an influencer on TikTok called Maria Vehara, and we paid her 1,500 dirhams or something. We briefed her a bit on what she should say, but in the end we said, okay, here's a chocolate, do what you want to do initially. And she posted 4 or 5 videos, and one of them got 130 million views, and it started a whole avalanche of other TikToks, and it made them go viral globally in less than 6 months. And our involvement was, they're still our clients. We still work with them, we still run their ads, we advise them on certain things on content and stuff like that, but they're world famous. So I think they're paying us out of out of kindness right now because we have reached the maximum. We can't really do more. But yeah, no, I love Sarah, I love the team. But yeah, that's what we did. We made them go viral initially, but again, it was a bit of luck as well, of course.
So then this takes me to another point. Does a brand get to a place where they don't need ads anymore and it's just unnecessary spend?
No. I think it was an exaggeration. Of course, they might still need ads at some point. Does Apple need ads?
Not really. In my opinion, do they really need ads? I don't think so. They have a very loyal following. You're always going to bring new people to the market who don't know about you. But I think there is a point where word of mouth.
But also, I think what we forget is that people are dying and people are
Yes,
born.
You're always going to get brand new people who
right?
are
So
not aware of the ad.
There's now 12, 13, 14-year-olds who don't know technology. And of course, on these people spend a lot of money. I think does Apple need ads? Does McDonald's need ads?
Does Nike need ads?
I think yes. Because I think you will forget about them. It's eventually, especially in a competitive market. So when Apple stops running ads tomorrow and Android, Samsung is increasing their spend by 20%, slowly there's going to be a little fall.
Yeah.
And to prevent this fall, they spend on ads. So I think ads are one of the best ways to get a fast ROI literally tomorrow in a local market.
And then what do you think is going to be the future? It's not going to be ads for the next 15 years. What's going to be the next way of people being able to get their brand out there and create sales?
Ads.
You're biased. That's not fair. You think it's always going to be ads? Let's say, for example, new brands coming out there, well-established, legacy brands, they're all going to need ads continued until the end of time.
I think the ad format might change. But companies will always spend money to make more money. And in terms of acquisition and advertising and marketing, it's some form of an ad.
The famous saying goes, you got to spend money to make money.
That's where it comes from. If you spend 20,000 dirhams on ads and you manage to get 150,000 dirhams back in sales, you think, wow, I found a money glitch. So let's spend 40.
But I think, look, in my humble opinion, I think businesses need to work with people who have ethics and values like you do to be able to take that budget and make it grow so that they're not taking that small potential money that they have. When you're a small business or you're a startup, you're not going to have loads of money sitting on the side to plug into ads. You're not. But what you do need to understand is the money you spend on ads has to have the return. So you have to have the right strategy. You are employing the right strategy to ensure, I know you can't guarantee, but you're ensuring that there is going to be ROI on this.
It's like I'm almost nowadays I feel like in a financial advisor almost, because you have money in your company bank account, and I'm saying rather than investing it in stocks or in real estate, which gives you 10% per year, with the right ad strategy and the right funnel and the right setup, you can get a 10x ROI within the first 2 months. So the reason you get this is by doing the steps right. So the good thing about real estate, the good thing about financial investments is because you do something and you don't touch it. But we're a bit like food. When I give you raw ingredients for a burger, these ingredients are what? 5, 6, 10 dirhams. The moment someone crafts it and makes it look pretty, all of a sudden this burger is 50 dirhams. And the same thing we do with your company. Like the raw format is maybe worth something, but when you go and prepare it somehow and make it look nice and work on it and make a funnel and videos and ads and email, all of a sudden this whole thing makes like 10, 20x of what you put in. So it's the handcrafted, it's the handmade work that makes it more profitable or more valuable, let's say. If that makes sense. It
does make perfect sense. I think that's the difference between when you give it to somebody who knows what they're doing, experienced, and is able to 10x your ad spend versus somebody who's giving you all those promises but not able to deliver.
Yep.
And then they'll blame the market, they'll blame your audience, they'll blame X, Y, and Z, but they're not able to execute because they don't know what they're doing. So I want to try and figure out, how can someone establish or identify a legitimate agency versus one who's just telling you, give us 3 months, let's see what's going to happen, and we'll test the market and analyze and all this kind of stuff. Because you do need time to be able to actually figure out like what is the right strategy for you once you've done the right groundwork. How can someone identify whether they're legit or whether they're a scam artist?
The best way to identify an agency or a consultant or anyone who's selling knowledge or services is by case studies. If they don't have case studies, most likely they're new or they don't know how to sell. Because if you don't have case studies, basically you're neglecting one of the biggest points in marketing. Like part of our strategy is like, yes, we do funnels and ads, but if you go through our onboarding process, one of the second point is list me 10 or 20 people that we can contact to make testimonial ads. And if a customer or if an agency doesn't have that himself, he's missing out on almost 60% of what's working. So if an agency doesn't have case studies, most likely they don't know how to sell properly. And if they have case studies and they have real names, real people, video if you get someone on video saying, hey, this person did a good job, this is one of the best ads that can happen. So we focus a lot on, can you get someone on camera of your business? Yes, great. It's part of the whole thing. And if an agency doesn't have, then most likely they're, I don't really understand how online marketing works.
I think this is one of the most important points you've highlighted, because being credible means that you can walk the talk. Saying you can do all of these things, but not being able to back it up with proven track record, I think for me is one of those key elements where people, as a consumer, as a potential client, you need to vet the people you're going to pay money to do the service they say they're going to do. Case studies, testimonials, I think is genius. This is, if they're legitimate.
I'm lazy as well, to be honest. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm not saying I'm lazy. I'm lazy in terms of like, I want to get to the best result the quickest way.
Yeah.
And testimonials for me is the ultimate life hack, because if I can get an authentic testimonial of someone with a name and a little title below, like it's a real thing and you can sense it's real, and I show this to people, I don't need to do all this crazy other stuff I need to do and this and 1,000 messages and follow-ups, whatever. Like, it just, our marketing efforts are mostly going for, we need to deliver great results. We get a testimonial from this person, and this testimonial uses as a case study for the next customer. It's like an ongoing wheel of using testimonials to make more customers. This works for your business too.
I think what you're doing is you're creating a wheel of trust. And this wheel of trust, what you do is by allowing people to understand through UGC that someone else is telling people, this company did X, Y, and Z for me. And that is the biggest advertisement that you can have, in my opinion, because I can bring an actor to sit there and say, this is the best, yada, 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 whatever. But you have somebody who's a really satisfied customer telling other people, that's probably the best ad you're going to get. And I think you do that really well when you're doing your storytelling format of, this person is saying they're so happy with this. And it's very authentic. And I think it's real, because you're literally taking screenshots and you're just showing, this is what my customer said. This is another happy customer, another happy customer. I don't think it's coming across as pushy or arrogant. I just think your success is enough to sell people the dream. You're selling the dream, but you're able to execute it effectively.
It's true. Yeah.
I think that's where you excel.
Again, and that's my laziness again. Like, to make a screenshot and then talk over it is way, way, way easier and simpler than making a 10-hour presentation out of it, to be honest. And we do the same for you. Like, if you come to us and you have ways of proving that you're delivering a great service, I'm not trying to make this in a complicated case study. I'm like, either take a screenshot, we film this with a phone, do something. Like, you know my testimonials where I'm like, there's this customer next to me.
Yeah.
These are amazing. These are amazing because they're real and authentic. And of course, some people always say, no, they're fake, no, they're set up, and the testimonials are fake, or the screenshots are fake. But I will post so many screenshots until they think, no, that can't be fake anymore. And if they come even to our consultation sessions, we prove, we back them up. We show the real chats, we show the real numbers. Of course, we keep, what do you call that? Confidentially, of course, in mind. But we show as much as possible to actually prove you, hey, this is really what we do. And this is part of it, of course, yeah.
And tell me a little bit about, let's say, if a brand's strategy is B2B versus B2C, do you then apply different strategies and what kind of strategy? No, I'm seeing you shaking your head. So you apply the same strategy, whether it's B2B or B2C or B2G, anything?
Yeah.
Same.
It's the same. B2B is a human, B2C is a human. We always sell to humans. We always work the same way. The ads are the same structured. The problems are different. You know, for example, a B2B customer that helps, I don't know, reducing, sales cycle time or something, you know. The problems and the solutions and the deeper things we talked about before, they're much more obvious because it's numbers. I can reduce, you know, for example, if I reduce someone's sales cycle with a software or like a SaaS app, it's pretty obvious that my deep thought behind this is I would need more cash flow, and the reason I don't do this is because I didn't find another supplier doing it. That there's more obvious reasons, while finding the real purchase reason of a mattress is more difficult. So I believe B2C, finding those things is more difficult than B2B, because B2B it's either less time, more money, saving cost, doing something faster, you know, like it's 3, 4, 5 things in the end, and we need to portray them in a nice way. For B2C, like emotions and sleeping and emotions and, you know, like whatever the emotions normal people have, you know, it's way more difficult to find the real reason sometimes. So B2B is more simple than B2C.
Interesting. I didn't think of it like that. I like that viewpoint. I want to also get your advice for business owners, founders. What would you give them as advice for someone who wants to scale their business and they want to see fast results? They want to rely on someone who's qualified and ready to, you know, 10x their sales. What would be your advice on their first thing that they should do? Should they come direct to someone like you? Should they do a little bit of testing on their own? What would you give them as advice?
Simplify.
So
let's take doctor example. We have a doctor who's a general doctor, and he makes people healthy in 1, 2, 3, 4 ways, 5 ways. The first thing we do with a clinic or doctor is we ask him, who is your dream patient? I like these, I like B, I like A, and I like B. I'm like, okay, give me one. I can't. Give me one. A. Okay, so you'll be the happiest person in the world. You can help more people if more customers of type A walk into your clinic, right? Yes. Okay, that's what we do. But what about A, B, C, D, M? No, we're going to do A only. If you then feel you want more after, we can add B, but they never add B. They understand how beautiful life can be if the same person with the same problems, where you can apply your solution, walks in the door and you can solve it on an assembly line and you make people happy every day and again and again and again. It makes them so happy. And this works for everyone. This only works for doctors. That also works for cake factories. For example, you make a cake and you make wedding cakes, birthday cakes, kids party cakes, baby shower cakes, this cakes. And I'm like, okay, what cake do you want to make the most? Wedding cakes. Okay, so why don't we make only wedding cakes? Yeah, but what about the kids' cakes? Screw the kids' cakes. Make wedding cakes only. Everyday wedding cakes. Yeah, but maybe it's like, let's try it. We make wedding cakes. Out of a sudden, he becomes the wedding cake specialist. And now he gets famous for wedding cakes. And then bigger families, bigger weddings come to him and say, make bigger wedding cakes. He's the happiest person on the planet, right? So simplifying in terms of what's your core offer, double down, and only make this for the rest of your life. If you want more after, do it. But out of usually like, you're happy with A only. And that's what we do. We only have one. You can only buy one service from us. We don't sell websites separately. We don't sell content webs separately. We don't sell Google ads separately. We don't sell SEO. We make you more customers tomorrow with our strategies. And that's what we do, sell the whole day. We don't sell things separately. We don't sell this and that and this and that. One thing mostly. It's the one thing that you should sell. And this applies for customers literally up to like, I don't know, $1 million per month. If you go beyond this point and you have separate departments and something, maybe you can add stuff, but I believe in this one thing.
I love that. So the simplify is really niche down, irrespective of how many different things you actually are providing right now as your services, products, or whatever. Pick that one hero product.
Yes.
The one. And I'm not sure I agree with you in terms of like do that forever, but it's at least do that for a long period of time. Get your sales in. Be known for that. Then
add stuff, of course.
Elaborate.
And the thing is, people estimate is if you're selling this one thing and people walk through your door, then they start buying B, C, D automatically
then
because they trust you.
Yeah.
So we need to build this spearhead offer that we will find all the problems, the solutions, we find the secret desires and the lie, whatever you talked about before. And if we do this, we get people to the door. And if they then find out you also sell this, this, and this, you already gained their trust, you already work with them, they already gave you money, they already like believe you're not a scammer. So of course then they buy other stuff from you. So we need to bring them in a very easy, simple form of way that's very clear. And then once they're in there, they buy all the other things from you. But in the marketing, you should sell this one thing. This guy with the wedding cake, it's a real example. They sell like wedding cakes. Now with the wedding cakes, the owner of the company got married. Now he wants cupcakes for his company. Then he bought, we got him in with the wedding cake. So get him in with your core offer and then upsell them on the way out.
I love that. That's a very easy strategy for any business to apply.
Yeah. Doctors, anyone who sells more than 2 or 3 products, in my opinion, you don't make $1 million a month, you need to niche it down. Like simplify everything you do. And all the effort, like bring it to this one core offer. That's literally what our customers do. That's what chocolate fix viral, they sell chocolate. If they now add muffins or orange juice, it's weird. Like they do the same thing. Coca-Cola sells one thing in the end. We know Coca-Cola for cola. Apple, we know them for phones. Of course, they do other products now, but they're multi-international companies. They're still selling only a few products. They don't sell cars and compartments and whatever. Of course, they niche out, but like usually I don't like the analogy of like bigger companies because it doesn't apply to smaller companies. But in this case, it applies. Like they focus on their core thing and they don't try to FOMO into other things that might sell. Maybe there's another. Like sell one thing and they sell it well.
That's very good advice. Choose one thing, make that your star product, be known for that. Then you can focus on cross-selling, upselling, the whole full shebang. Very interesting. And then what would you say are the mistakes that a lot of business owners, small business owners, home businesses are making that are potentially preventing them from getting sales? Are there any clear mistakes that people are making that they should be avoiding?
Number one thing is selling too many products. Literally, that's number one thing. Like if you have a company or a clinic or a shop and a service, you're selling 5 things. Trying to sell all 5 things is the biggest mistake. Number one thing is for me niching down, sell one thing, it's one offer, and then all the marketing efforts put it on that one thing. If you do this, it's most likely you will not fail. The other thing is not focusing on sales. I mean, all the obvious things. But I think if I could say one thing now, it's back at this. Because the moment anyone focus on one thing only, but sometimes faster, sometimes it's slower. At one point, they come to realization, this is how we sell it. And this is how it works. I can make this go faster, or we can, like marketing agencies can make this go faster. I don't want to point me now. But if you give a marketing agency one product to sell, they figure it out quite quickly, us or someone else maybe, or yourself even. But yeah, it's creating this. Now I'm talking about this again, but I want to make it clear. Creating an entry offer is the easiest way to make more sales for that one product. For example, meal plan companies, they want to sell monthly meal plan products. But I'm saying, like, guys, like a cold a person who haven't heard about you before, you ask them to spend 2,500 to 3,000 dirhams on their food for 30 days without them testing your food, without them having seen your kitchen, without them. Who the hell would do that? Like sell them a 3 days trial, nail that, and then you sell this 30, because then selling 30 days is much easier. So it's like either simplify the offer, simplify what you're selling, like make it very easy entry. And then all the marketing efforts go on that one easy entry.
Very good advice. I like this. And then I think by bringing all of your experience together, all of the really good points that you've actually mentioned here, what I want to kind of hone in on a little bit more is, for you as a business owner, someone who's successfully creating profitable business, who's able to help other businesses create profit and scale, what were your mistakes that you've done? What were the things that if you could go back and be like, I shouldn't have done that, or I missed the train on that one, what were the mistakes that you would have corrected if you could do it again?
In terms of the agency in general?
Yeah, with 30-some Consult.
One of the things I think I should have done better is hire people faster, because I was thinking I'm the only one who can do that. And then there's my friend called Mike. He always pushed me higher, faster. And if I could go back in time, I would hire the first person in the first time I have over a certain cash flow to outsource work. That's the biggest mistake, hiring too late. I'm still doing this, to be honest. I'm still hiring too late because I have this weird responsibility thing in my brain where like I need to be 100% sure that if I hire someone, if I want to, I can pay this person, I don't know, for 6 months if the whole company goes down and I need help. This is like my average, like then I hire someone. It's a mistake, you know, like this person will help me grow faster, but in my brain is still stuck that I kind of need to be more comfortable to hire someone.
So we need to get this out of your brain, because quite clearly the last time we had this conversation was like a year ago, right? And you said exactly the same thing to me.
But I hired 2 people since then.
So you've hired 2 people. So you're kind of combating this, but it's an internal thing that you've got. It's your success is speaking for itself. So you don't have the concern anymore. Financially, you're able to cover them for that 6 months.
It's not this.
So it's just you have a mindset that you need to have that safety and security, which you do have. So start scaling. So what's really stopping you from scaling? Because you're getting the clients.
Because I deep down believe that big agencies don't work.
Big agency, define for me what big is.
Where the salesperson is a different person who handles your account. Then the account manager has 3 people who are doing some work. We don't have project managers, and I think I never will. Like when you buy from us, it's a boutique agency model where I understand your brand. I will brief the team. The brief will be on this understanding call, let's call it for now. They know what's going on, and then we're able to work on this together. Like we don't have, like I don't sell you the dream, and then by the way, this is I don't know.
The account manager is
Matthias, account manager, and the German guy or somewhat guy, and he will now take over account. Thank you very much. Bye bye. And then
never see you
after
again.
3 months, I'm like, okay, thank you for the money and bye. Like I truly believe that this is not right, and that's why I don't scale it. Like I think to scale a business or scale something super large, I have to make another business model where that's more scalable. I don't believe that this agency model I'm doing is scalable. I might be wrong. Might people say there's ways to do it? I know it's possible as well, but I don't know. I think to what we do now, I think we're good. Like we can take up to like I think 50 clients we can take with a little bit of more staff. Agencies over 100 people, 100 clients, and like 50 people working there. I'm sure they're working as well, but not to the personal level that we do it right now. Maybe I'm going to change my mind in the future, but that's what I'm thinking right now.
Look, I totally feel what you're saying. I personally am on the same page as you, but I do think that you need to make the team work better without having the pressure of having too many clients that they have to fulfill, because then their productivity is going to suffer ultimately. So I think you are at the point where you started super, super small, like very lean, and now you're in the place where you're able to hire more. So I think once you get over this internal thing, big agency over 100, you don't want to hit that. But agency of 20 employees, you can hit that.
Yeah, I'm sure as well.
You can hit that. And I think financially you can do it. In your headspace you can do it. I'm sure your team will thank you for it. And your clients will be happier at the end of the day. So this is where I think you're a total success story in terms of how you started, where you are right now. And I'm interested to know the next conversation that we end up having, how many is going to be on your team. So tell me, how many do you have in your team right now in 37 Consult?
4.
4. And we're in 2025. 2024, you had 2. 2026, we're going to have another conversation. I want to at least know that you hit 10. I think you will get 10, right? I can confidently say you're going to hit 10. I'm excited about what you're doing. I love to see the success that you're creating, not only for your own business, but so many other brands out there as well. I really appreciate you being so candid, authentic, and vulnerable with your statements. Some of them we're going to have to probably bloop out, but I really do value the fact that you were so open and honest about it. And I can't wait to see more of the content you're going to put out there.
Thanks, Fari.
That's it. I think we can wrap it up now. That was really good, done. Amazing.